Hey, I am Rebecca Marshburn, and I am here to talk about how to tap into the modern buyer journey. I'm super excited to be talking here at Tenbound Sales Tech Stack Conference. I think if there's any audience that is the right audience that we should be talking to about the modern buyer journey, it is this one. So it's a true pleasure and honor to be here. I'm Rebecca Marshburn. I'm the head of community at Common Room, and Common Room is a platform that allows you to tap into the modern buyer journey. We allow you to bring your product usage data, your intent data, your community data, your CRM data, your learning management system data, your customer support system data. We unify all that data, bring it together into one place, do all the hard analysis for you, surface your best, most high intent leads with context, and then allow you to work directly from one specific surface, one single surface, to be able to reach out to those leads and convert customers faster. So, why is the head of community talking to you? Well, we know today that the B2B buyer journey has changed. In today's world, your buyers are talking to a whole village before they're making a buying decision. So what it used to look like, right, is maybe someone visited a page, maybe there's an opportunity created in your CRM, maybe they created a ticket or responded to an email, and then a meeting was booked or it was not booked. And we know that today it looks very different and there are more signals than ever before. In fact, McKinsey and Company reported that buyers were using 5 channels on average in 2016, and that doubled to 10 on average in 2021. And that number, I imagine, has only continued to grow as channels have proliferated across the last nearly 3 years. So people are posting comments on Reddit, they're following your competitors on Twitter, they're starring repos in GitHub, they're joining your Slack, they're onboarding in Discord, they're submitting forms. Those opportunities are being created in your CRM. They're visiting your pricing pages, they're visiting your solutions pages, they're signing up for events in your meetup. They're posting questions on Stack Overflow. They're liking and commenting on your company content on LinkedIn. There are so many signals out there than were ever out there even 5 years ago. And so it's really, really impacting what SDRs and AE teams can do. Instead of spending their time on selling activities, we know that a rep now uses 10 tools to close a deal and spends 72% of their week on non selling activities. What do those non selling activities look like? They look a lot like this number of tabs that are open, this proliferation of tabs that cause everyone anxiety because they're trying to wrangle data together. And instead of having the data at their fingertips, they are wasting time trying to pull in for themselves. What is this social intent? What is this person asking, seeing, sharing, needing? What is their product usage? Are they logging in day after day? Are they manipulating data? Are they actually using the product? Do they have signals that are telling us that they would actually be a true? Are they ready to buy? What is their community activity? Are they posting product questions? Are they asking more industry, like philosophical questions that would help us understand what they need to know and what they're trying to solve? Are they getting certifications through learning management systems? Are they attending webinars? Are they interacting with your emails? All of this creates so much time suck as your SDRs and AEs are really trying to put together any sort of narrative for creating a relevant contextual outreach for your prospect. And honestly, that's probably your best sales reps today. Most sales reps are sending cold outreach based on a few slightly tepid social intent and product usage signals. And that's also because people are unsure, your reps are unsure of where to focus their time. Should they be focusing on specific channels, on specific accounts, on individual leads? Are they trying to look for that actual product buyer, the economic buyer? Or are they just looking for any connection, any way in that they can then start to try to work to finally understand and make way toward that true economic buyer? And all of this just means that there's poor context across the whole buyer journey. That poor visibility totally impacts their pipeline potential, right? This means that there are lower and lower response rates, lower and lower yeses to first calls, way fewer conversions over a longer amount of time. This is why we built Common Room. We built Common Room to help you make sense of all of your buying signals. We want you to take that product usage data. We want you to take what's happening in terms of your code repositories, what's happening across your community channels, what's happening across your social channels, what's happening in all of your go-to-market systems. And then we want to unify that intent. Intent gets you pipeline, but identity gets you context. That intent becomes, once we unify all of that data, one individual identity. And when with that identity, we that enables us to help you understand who that member is, who that prospect is, who that potential customer is, what they're needing, saying, sharing, asking. We can tell you where they worked, right? What their job changes have been, whether or not they're a product qualified lead or a community qualified lead based on criteria that you set, whether or not they're talking about your competitors and across those public forums, whether or not they're following your competitors, liking what your competitors are saying, what their lead score is. We can auto detect if someone is a champion or an economic buyer. We can surface their repo activity. And so with that identity comes that context, and context is what converts customers. Intent gets you pipeline, and context gets you that second yes, gets you that final, I understand that you understand me. I say yes to this call. I say yes to taking this demo. I say yes to interacting with your sales rep. So we allow you as Common Room to meet your modern buyer and to meet them wherever it is that they want to meet you. We give you a unified view across the entire buyer journey. So from community insights to social activity to product usage and beyond. We allow your sales reps and your AEs to focus on who matters by surfacing high fit leads across 30 plus sources with our AI generated scoring that you set the criteria for. We allow your AEs and SDRs to convert faster with deep context, so we give reps the personalization they need to actually move deals forward. And then we allow you and your reps, your teams, to run prospecting plays in one place. There's no more cobbling data. There's no more hundreds of tabs. Common Room gives them a one-stop shop to burn down their task list in a way that enable them to keep going with the buyers that make the most sense based on what's right for your business. So as a quick overview, Common Room allows you to understand the person, the identity behind all of those signals. You get more signal and you filter out the noise with the best enrichment matches out there. So we can show you what they're doing in your community, how they're interacting with your product, what their individual member details are, what all of their other what do you call this here, right? Like what their profile is on Discord, what their profiles are on Slack, who they are on LinkedIn, who they are on GitHub, who they are on Twitter, what their email is, right? So all of the different accounts from which they've interacted with you. And then we can also surface all of those business details. So who is their AE owner, right? Who is their CSM owner? What lead stage are they at? What is their opportunity size? What's the deal stage? When is their renewal date? What have they done recently across your CRM business details? So all of that we bring together so that your AEs and reps can really understand the person behind the signals. And then through all those, through that aggregation of signals, we make lead and account scoring easy based on criteria that you are able to set, knowing what's right for your business. And then we add context to lead scoring to help reps reach out with the right message so that they can improve conversion. We give your reps stack ranked views in terms of lists so that we can surface the best leads to your reps. And then that is replenished in real time with AI powered lead scoring. And what does that look like? That ultimately looks like that a way for you to operationalize your GTM sources of truth. So we help you improve your rep productivity with built-in actions for outreach, for Salesforce, for LinkedIn, through email, directly through Slack, and more. One of our case studies that I love to talk about is how Temporal uses our sales features today to build more pipeline through Common Room. So one of their enterprise sales reps has booked over 50% of their meetings coming from Common Room, and these tend to be high quality calls. As he reports, they were really struggling with buyer intent, context hidden in the dark funnel. It was super hard to identify who the high potential prospects are, especially on top of that, who those buyers are. So using Common Room, He gets a single source of truth to centralize sales signals, gets deep context across all of those connected channels so he can personalize messaging, convert more leads, and then create segments, alerting, and workflows to prioritize those sales opportunities. This saves him 4 hours of time a week, and he has doubled his meeting growth. So now it is demo time, a really quick demo to show you a little bit about what this looks like. So here we are in a common room instance. This has been randomized and anonymized, but it is real data. But to protect privacy, you are looking at anonymized and randomized data that we love to call Pied Piper. Um, so what you can see here is that they have 9 connected sources. They have Slack, Discord, Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub, Stack Overflow, Reddit, Salesforce, and Outreach. And here we are at the home screen, and there are all sorts of ways you can slice and dice data. This home screen is where your SDRs and AEs are going to live. They can build out segments here and then really run through these task lists all from one place. But before I show you what this looks like at the output, I want to show you what the inputs are so that you really understand how this fits your specific business and how you can personalize it to make sure that it is serving your business based on who your high intent prospects and leads are. So let's go into settings really quick. So we'll start with settings, and as you can see here, there are all sorts of sources that you can add, whether or not it's social channels, engagement channels, business data channels, product usage channels, right? Those product data warehouses, your census, your snowflakes. We got Zapier APIs, webhooks. You can import CSVs and Google Sheets, all sorts of things you can do here. But I want to show you tags really quick. So what we do is we allow you to set the criteria for the tags that you want to set. And once you set the criteria for these tags, we automatically apply them to anyone, any of those individuals, right? Any of those individual identities who interact with your product across any of your connected channels. So, for example, let's go back to the idea of economic buyer. For this specific customer, they went really broad. They're like, hey, we know that an economic buyer is going to have a title of basically director level of above. So any title of CFO, chief, head of, president, director, VP, awesome. But let's say that you want to get a little bit more granular about your economic buyer. You can go ahead and add a filter and say, I know that my economic buyer is also really likely to use in their tech stack 6sense. And let's say you're in, a commercial open source software company. They're likely going to use Apache Kafka. And you could say also, Amplitude. I know that people who generally have these technologies in their stack and have the title of, vice president, chief, head of, director of. These people are going to be the people that have the opportunity or the capacity to sign the bottom line on that check and actually make a purchase decision. So you can go ahead and set the filters up as granular as you want. So that's an economic buyer filter. Let's look at one more filter, for example. Let's look at the ideal customer persona filter. So here again, we have, role as an EPD, title is of, any of engineering or marketer, but let's add some more filters to this. Let's say the ideal persona, we also want to add firmographic data. So let's say that we know the ideal persona is actually going to be working at an organization that has 1,000 to 5,000 employees. And we also know that organizations that have an annual revenue of 10 million to 50 million is going to be our sweet spot. And then we also know that that ideal persona, we want to make sure that they're interacting with us and have shown, recent intent. So let's say I know that this person has at least reacted to 2 posts on LinkedIn. And let's say they were last active between the last 14 days. So we really want to have this recency element. We want to make sure that someone that is active within the last 14 days that has, across any of our connected channels, that has at least 2 reactions or more to a LinkedIn post. So they've certainly been drawn in by our company content, who is at an organization with firmographic data of this, 10 to $50 million revenue, 1,000 to 5,000 employees, and has any of these titles. So you can go really granular on what that means to be, for example, an ideal customer persona. So I'll go ahead and remove these. And once you do that, once you set up those tags, then we automatically apply those tags to anyone that meets that criteria once they hit that threshold, whatever it is that they're doing in your community or your social channels or your product usage data. You can like set up a product qualified lead, right? Where you're like, hey, this means that they've logged in at least 4 times in the last 28 days and that they've, gotten through our product nurture email campaign. So once you do all that on the back end, you are set up for success to understand how those individual members are interacting across all of your connected channels, and your SDRs and AEs are in a strong place to really set up these segments that make sense for them. So for example, this customer has set up a segment where it's members who are economic buyers and they're using 6 cents. They've set up members with job changes within the last 6 months. So we have a job change functionality that I didn't show you in those filters, where you can say, I want to see, any job changes within the last 2 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, custom date range. So you can reach out based on who has used your product at a previous organization, or you can reach out with a, hey, I see that you're, moving into a new role, would love to chat. Um, they've set up segments for socially engaged members with a high lead score, a segment for a product user sign up within the last 28 days, a segment for a member who visited the pricing page in the last 28 days, a segment for members who are ideal persona and a power user. So you can really go deep into this and set up the segments as granular as you want based on those tags that we automatically apply for you once you set the criteria. So for example, let's look at this: members who are an ideal persona and a power user. So what you see here is that added to the segment based on that criteria is Blake Town. Blake Town is the head of engineering at Canary Technologies, previously at Google, and you can see all of their org change history. Was at Canary, at Google, at Finect, at Softech, at Community America Credit Union. You can see their organization, what other member tags they're associated with. So this person is an ideal persona and a power user, as well as an economic buyer. Their lead score at a glance and what their key factors are. They belong to an account that has 6 workspaces, belongs to an account from enterprise software, hospitality, etc., belongs to an account that has 124 quarterly active users. Here are the profiles with which they've interacted with you or that we have on file for them. We have them as their Twitter account, their LinkedIn. Here's where they are in Salesforce, their days active, right, within the product, how many edits they've made in the last 28 days. So you can go ahead and look at it at a glance at this table view, or you can go ahead and actually give a preview or actually deeply click in to this individual's profile. But I'll just show you the preview here. You can click in as an SDR, as an AE, get a really good at a glance understanding of who this person is, the actions they've taken in their product within the last 7 days, the 28 days, how many days they've been active, how many times they've visited the pricing website, where their workspaces are, what their other related members are within their same account, and then what their lead score is. And then what criteria went into making that lead score. And then, so this is, like I said, anonymized data, but what we would do as well is we would pull in all of their activity across all of your connected channels and then roll that up into impact points and show you what they've done on your Twitter. Did they repost something? Did they reshare something? What they did on your LinkedIn? When's the last time they commented? What they've asked in your Slack, right? And we could even say, they asked a product question in Slack, we would auto categorize for that for you. And we could say they still have no replies. So there are all sorts of ways that you can dive into this data. But for that SDR point of view, let's say they're like, this is our ideal persona, right? This is a power user. They have a great lead score. I actually know exactly what sequence and outreach I want to add them to. So directly from this individual surface, right? Let's say I want to enroll Blake Townsend in my Noop sequence. And so add them to sequence, one click, done. They are now receiving exactly which messaging your SDR wanted them to get based on the context that they have around this person. And then after that, you can go ahead and mark as done and keep working down the list for each of these segments based on where you want to be spending your time and where your highest intent to conversion leads are going to live. There's so much more I'd love to show you. We can slice and dice things by who your members are, who your organizations are. So, for example, we take all of those individual identities and then roll them into an organizational view. And then you can go ahead and look into each organization, see how many people work at that organization, how they're related, what their roles are, what their titles are, and then understand more about, you can set up organizational tags so you can really follow from an account based point of view what's happening in that organizational level. The last thing that I will show you here, just as a really quick teaser, is that when you're looking at that activity point of view, like we talked about, right, you can go ahead and add filters. And you could say, for example, I want to see anyone that has made a product complaint or a bug or an issue. And so we auto categorize for this for you. And then you can say something like, and still has no reply. And so we're able to filter this for you, and that SDR and that AE is able to get a really quick at a glance understanding of, who the authors are, which other members are talking with them, what the sentiment is, what type of category it is, what the topics are. This is italics, this is the way topic. Like I said, this is a little anonymized, so you're seeing some very exciting data, as I am too. This one is a bug or an issue, right? This is a task and a pages topic. This still has no reply. And so there's a lot of ways that your reps and your AEs are really able to understand who's asking what, where, what organizations they roll up into, what accounts they're at, what stage of deal they're at, and how they're interacting with you across which channels. And then in those segments, be able to create those segments from that home page and really work down that list based on the scoring that you've already set up as a business in the way that affects best your business's bottom line. So that was it. That was demo time. We're super excited to work with top SaaS leaders who tap into their modern buyer journey with us as Common Room. We love working with all of these customers here and so many others: Grafana, Grammarly, GitLab, HubSpot, Kong, Notion, Figma, and we hope to see you on this list sometime soon. Thank you so much. Please come try us for yourself for free at commonroom.io. And if you really want to get all of those signals from across your 30 plus channels, your product usage data, your CRM data, book a demo with us at commonroom.io. We can get you set up to make sure that all of those sources are pulling the right types of data and walk you through how to make sure you're getting the most out of your signals so you can convert customers who are value aligned. Come say hi to me in the Uncommon community on Slack, where we have daily discussions with GTM, community, DevRel, sales, marketing leaders. And of course, I am Becca Odley. Come ask me anything. I always have a spot open in my calendar for you. So thank you so very much. It's been a joy and a pleasure to talk to this audience, and I can't wait to see you on the other side.